Welcome to another episode of Office Hours, the recap, where we go a little deeper into the discussion that we had in our Discord room over on chatbotbuilder.ai. Let's get started.
Today we're jumping right into the good stuff from our recent Office Hours session, really digging into what AI entrepreneurs and builders are wrestling with. If you couldn't make it, well, think of this as your fast track to catching up. You'll get those aha moments and maybe more importantly, the actual steps you can take away.
Exactly. Yeah, our goal today is really to pull out the most valuable bits, the key knowledge, and, the practical stuff from that whole conversation. We'll cover navigating AI tools, those surprising costs sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Adapting to platforms changing, constantly. And then how to actually build a sustainable business in all this. You should feel like you're right there with us.
Absolutely. We're drawing straight from the discussions, the problem solving we did together. So you should walk away with things you can use right now. Okay, let's dive in. So lots of listeners are deep in AI tools, right? And a big thing, a frustration that came up loud and clear in office hours was cost. Those unexpected costs.
Yeah.
You shared a pretty vivid story about your first run-in with the Claude API costs. Can you walk us through that? What was the big lesson there?
Oh, absolutely. It was quite the lesson. Stark, really. I just hooked up the Claude API, building some bots, right? And I figured, okay, $5 credit limit, that's fine to start. But I blew through that $5 in, I don't know, it felt like minutes, almost instantly.
Wow.
And the bots just stopped. Dead. It was a real jolt. A very clear reminder that AI, powerful as it is, you got to manage its usage like a utility bill, not, an open tap.
Right. That's a critical point about those hidden costs. So, okay, beyond just watching tokens, what's the bigger shift in thinking needed, especially since you later found, real value in a different Claude plan?
Yeah, it forces you to be really intentional. That first $5 vanished, sure. But later, I got the $20 Claude plan, and the value there is completely different, especially how they're developing the artifact and project side now. It really helps with complex stuff, multi-step things. Generally, I find Claude, it writes maybe a bit better for general tasks, more nuanced sometimes.
Okay.
But for really custom results where I've spent time training ChatGPT on my specific style or data, ChatGPT often nails it better because of that training. The trade-off. Sometimes Claude needs more prompting, more back and forth to get exactly what you want. And yeah, occasionally it times out. But for certain things, its output quality, the project features, it's definitely worth considering. It's choosing the right tool for the specific job,
It's really fascinating how much we lean on these LLMs now. You even joked in the session about feeling like such a dummy because you're not thinking on your own anymore. But then you clarified, and this is key, they're really helping format your initial thoughts better. They're like co-pilots, right? Not replacements for your own thinking.
Exactly. Co-pilots. That's a great way to put it.
And that, for you listening, that's the real point here. Understanding the strengths and weaknesses of each AI partner isn't just about saving money. It's about making your whole workflow smarter, more precise, more efficient. Okay, speaking of dynamic and things changing fast, you had a front row seat recently to the crazy pace of change on platforms like Chatbot Builder, CBB. You described it almost like stepping into a foreign country. Can you tell us about that? Building live while the platform was changing under your feet. What did that teach you?
Oh man, it was wild. Seriously, I was literally building a bot, recording a YouTube video actually, showing a feature. And the interface changed, while I was recording. It must have updated overnight or something.
No.
Yeah. It really hits you, how fast this space moves. So yeah, for anyone using CBB, there were some big shifts we talked about. Things you really need to know now.
Okay, first up, the new AI Hub. This isn't just another menu item. It's basically the new command center for all AI stuff in CBB. If you make a new account now, it pushes you to build an agent almost immediately. That's a big shift in how you even start building a bot. It's all about agents now. So you need to think about designing good agents right from the start.
Right. Agent first thinking. Got it. What else?
Then there's the whole business information versus system message thing. Remember how you used to put your main bot instructions under business information?
Yeah, that was the core prompt area.
Well, now it's called a system message.
Yeah.
But here's the crucial bit. Your bot's main brain, its core logic, will either run from that system message or it will run from an agent you've specifically built and then selected over in the integration settings.
Ah, okay, so it's one or the other. Exactly. It's either. You can't have both active driving the main conversation logic. So knowing which one you've got turned on is super important, or you'll get weird results.
Good tip. What else changed?
What we used to call functions, they're now labeled AI tools. And this label also covers MCP servers. Those are the mini cloud processor servers for custom code stuff. It helps make it clearer, distinguishing between sort of traditional code bits and the AI features.
Okay, AI tools. Makes sense.
And there's a new section called Assistant Files. This is cool. It's a place where you can upload data files like PDFs, text documents, whatever, directly for your agents to use. It expands their knowledge base way beyond just what you can cram into the prompt.
Oh, interesting. So they can reference external docs you upload.
Yeah, exactly. Bigger data sets, more structured info. Very useful.
Okay, that's a lot to keep up with. These changes, they really demand constant learning, almost in real time. So for you listening, understanding this shift, the AI hub, agents, how your bot's core logic is set up now, it's absolutely vital if you're building on CBB. Saves a ton of headaches, helps you use these new tools right. All right, let's shift gears a bit. We spend a good amount of time in office hours doing troubleshooting. And one spot that catches people out, even experienced folks, is JSON prompting. JSON, we know it's for structured output, right? Getting data organized for other systems. But you highlighted that with CBB, it's all about their specific schema. Just getting any old JSON from ChatGPT isn't enough.
No, not at all. That's the fundamental hurdle. You can't just say, give me JSON for this. It might look okay, but CBB won't understand it unless it matches their exact rules, their schema.
Right.
Practically, what that means is, well, you often need to include parts of CBB's API documentation, or maybe copy example JSON structures directly from CBB and put that into your prompt for ChatGPT.
So you're essentially teaching ChatGPT the CBB rules within the prompt itself.
Pretty much. You're saying, look, this is the exact format I need. Follow this schema, ignore your general JSON knowledge for this task. You're setting up a really specific contract with the LLM.
Right. And you also mentioned that trying to handle complex stuff with JSON directly in the system prompt can get messy, especially juggling multiple schemas or different data inputs. You had an example where you simplified things.
Yeah, definitely. I remember trying to build this flow. It needed to grab several bits of user info, format them all differently in JSON depending on the answers, then send it off. The system prompt just became this huge, tangled mess, super fragile. My aha moment was realizing, wait a minute, it's way easier to just use a simple CBB function now called an AI tool, remember?
Right.
To collect the data step by step, then have that function format it correctly and send it to, say, a Google Sheet or wherever. The function handled the structuring and sending part cleanly. I didn't have to wrestle with all that JSON logic inside the main LLM prompt. Much more robust, modular.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Break it down.
Yeah. And we even dug into a couple of really specific bugs during the session. There was that formula parse error someone was getting in a Google Sheet connected to CBB, and another one, this flow that looked totally useless, like it did nothing. But it turned out the main prompt was referencing it, so deleting it broke everything.
Oh, wow. Hidden dependencies.
Exactly. It just drove home how important that meticulous, like line-by-line testing is. You got to understand every connection. And another classic we tackled was the double welcome message issue.
Ah, yes. That one comes up a lot.
Often traced back to caching problems, right? And the fix we landed on was setting up a specific flow to clear chat history that gets triggered by a keyword or maybe the first interaction, forces a reset. It's often those little details, the caching, the hidden references that cause the big headaches if you don't know where to look.
Yeah, those real-world examples are pure gold. So for you listening, key takeaways here. Check your caching. Be super precise with your AI instructions. Give it the schema. And maybe think about using simpler flows or functions instead of cramming super complex JSON logic into one prompt, especially for collecting data. Sometimes breaking it down just works better. Okay, beyond the tech weeds, we also had a really great discussion about actually building sustainable AI businesses and communities around this stuff. You and another person in the session are both building these school communities for AI education, mixing free beginner content with paid, more advanced classes, and the preference for live sessions was really clear because things change so fast. Makes sense. But how do you manage the scaling side of live delivery?
Yeah, it's definitely a balancing act. The live format feels essential right now. Like we saw with CBB, things change so fast, a pre-recorded course could be stale almost immediately. So the way we manage scale, or plan to, is by keeping the paid groups smaller, more interactive. That allows for real engagement, helping people troubleshoot their specific problems. For the free stuff, it's more about foundational principles, or maybe quicker, easily updated short videos. And one strategy we touched on, which seemed really interesting, was offering multilingual content, specifically Portuguese and English in this case.
Oh, yeah.
The thinking there is it's potentially a really hot niche, huge market for Portuguese speakers interested in AI building, but maybe less competition right now compared to just English.
That's a smart angle. Finding that underserved audience. And you mentioned choosing the school platform specifically over something like Circle. What's the thinking there?
Mainly it's simplicity and focus, really. School just felt more functional, more geared towards business and learning delivery, less about the social media fluff,
Yeah.
more straightforward for courses, community content. It just felt like a better fit for building a serious learning environment focused on actually doing things.
Right. And you kept hitting that point. These communities aren't just for learning passively. They're about actionable things, about accountability, pushing people to actually apply. It fits right in with your whole just do it ugly philosophy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Launch, iterate, don't wait for perfect.
Exactly. Perfectionism is the enemy in this space. It moves way too fast. The communities have to be about going from I learned this to I built this.
Yeah.
And tying that back to building for clients, we covered some really crucial business points too. First, really digging into client pain points. Clients often describe symptoms, not the root cause. You got to be a bit of a detective, ask those deeper questions to find out what problem your AI can really solve for them.
Yeah, solving the right problem.
Then, legal and compliance, non-negotiable. Especially in licensed fields, finance, healthcare, law, your bot absolutely cannot give advice, period. It needs to always push them to book time with a licensed human. And for your own business, you need a solid privacy policy, an information security plan. The platform, like CBB, they don't provide that for your specific implementation. That's on you.
Super important.
Okay, what else?
Doing a good onboarding and audit. Before you build anything, do like a front-end audit. Understand their current tools, their workflows, how they talk to customers now. Don't build in a bubble.
Right, context is key.
Using your own bot for pre-qualifying leads. Get the bot to ask those initial screening questions. Filter out people who aren't a good fit before you spend human time on a call. Huge time saver. Also, focusing your niche, especially when starting out. Pick an industry you know or where you have connections. It makes finding those real pain points way easier. Don't try to boil the ocean initially.
Good advice. Be specific. And finally, managing expectations. Be super clear with clients about timelines, about the fact that AI development is often iterative. You build, test, refine. Be transparent about what's possible and what's not. Builds trust, avoids problems later.
That's a solid checklist.
Yeah.
And personally, you shared some cool strategies for just coping with the sheer volume of AI info, that fire hose feeling, using an accountability GPT and being strict with your calendar. Tell us quickly about training that accountability GPT.
Oh yeah, the accountability GPT, it's a lifesaver some days. The key trick I found for training it, and really for training any LLM you want to use professionally, is telling it very clearly what you don't want. So I'll literally tell it, do not use flowery language, no compliments, be direct, factual, actionable. If I ask for a summary, just give me the bullet points, no fluff, no hope you're having a great day.
Okay. Train the politeness out of it.
Kind of. You force it to be efficient, you know? It learns quickly to just give you the core information or the reminder you need without the extra noise. Makes it much more useful for actual productivity.
That makes sense. Train it to match your workflow needs.
Yeah. And this whole section really, it maps out that journey, right? From picking your tools and niche to handling the legal stuff, managing clients, staying focused. It's a real roadmap for building something solid with AI.
Absolutely. What a session that was, and what a deep dive we've had digging back into it today, from the nitty-gritty of LLM costs and those rapid CVB updates to debugging JSON headaches and laying out those critical business strategies for AI entrepreneurs. It's just so clear how fast everything is moving.
It really is. And I think the main thing that came out of the office hours, and hopefully this deep dive too, is just how important intentional action and frankly community are for navigating this. Yeah, flood of opportunities feels right. Whether you're just learning to prompt better, building that first bot, or trying to scale up your business, having some accountability, having a clear plan, even if it needs to adapt. It's essential.
Couldn't agree more. So let's leave our listeners with this, a bit of a provocative thought maybe. Given this speed of change, given this need to constantly learn and adapt, what one specific thing in your current workflow or your business right now are you going to commit to automating or optimizing using AI this week? Based on maybe something we talked about today. And crucially, how will you actually measure if it made a difference? We really hope you apply these insights, keep playing, keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep building.
That wraps up another discussion on the office hours recap. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And as always, come on over and join us in the Discord room every week live at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. See you next week.